cause I be bustin' the dope moves. But the problem stay the same. How you riding for the cash when you ain't riding in my lane? Shorty all about the paper, so your mixture look the same. In the game I play the lane like Eddie Kane, cause I be bustin' the dope moves.
Buddha might be a literal person. I've never said that there's any fact that he's not real. What I'm saying is there is no fact that he is real. There is no fact that Buddha is a real actual being. That's all I was saying to you that day when I said there's no evidence that he's real. He could be. Everybody who walked it, Sadak Horror or whatever his name is.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, right. Some shit like that. That's from a book. Like, that's from a very old book. Like, there's no evidence that person ever existed. And there's actually no evidence that that's the Buddha. It's just Buddhist people who was posed the same question that I'm asking you. That's what they came up with. Because that story is based off the Buddha's religion.
But many Buddhists, though.
I mean, you could be right. I'm just saying, what I have a problem with is things that don't make sense. That's the only thing I have a problem with. And if you tell me that God is love, like you just said out your mouth a second ago, God is love, right? Now, I can prove to you he's not. That part I can prove depending on which God you tell me you talking about. See, that's the context.
Not the Hebrew one. Not the Hebrew one.
I'm about to say,
right
it can't be him. It can't be him. Like, he rained down fire on the motherfucker. Peep that, D. That's like being an abusive parent. You create something and you know it's flawed. And when it do what flawed things do, you rain down fire on his head. That's like putting your children who are on punishment in the basement and setting the house on fire.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, that motherfucker could be real, right? Okay? I'll take that for an argument. I'll take it on, like, if a person was trying to prove a point to me, if that motherfucker is real, right?
It sound like the bull the atheists be talking about, yeah.
But who is that bull?
The Baphomet.
But see, now that's what I'm saying, Pac. You would be a lot more respectable if you didn't throw your personal bullshit in there.
What? That's their sign, dog.
Paco, they don't. No, their sign is the letter A.
That's they like abbreviation.
No, that's their sign, Paco. There is no.
But they got resurrected statues, dog.
What atheist group has a statue?
That's their group, John, with the Baphomet with the two kids.
But that's what I'm saying. You saw something. But Pac, how? They don't believe in the story. How can they praise Baphomet? See, this is what I told him this before.
But they claim it.
No, he's talking about Satanists. He's talking about Satanists. Satanists are not atheists. Now let me break that down.
But y'all all agree that that's your
No, we don't agree with nothing except one thing. Certain groups of Satanists don't believe in God. That's what I was telling him one day. There is a group of Satanists, is what they're called, that are not connected to a literal Satan. They don't believe in a literal Satan ever being a part of any universe that any God created. They don't even believe in the God. That's the only thing they share.
For good money, though.
That's the only thing. No, some Satanists do. Paco, you got to understand, the Satanists, Paco, they have different groups, just like the Christians. Now, let me just explain this. One group of Satanists, Paco, have nothing to do with Satan as in Lucifer. They don't believe in the story at all. It's a symbolism, the people you're talking about, for rebellion against religion. They do not believe in now listen, there are many groups. No, Paco, there are many groups of no, Paco. No, that's only one group of Satanists. The rest of them actually hail Satan. The bull from the Bible. They believe this story is true and they chose their side. There is one group of people who are labeled in all political fucking views as Satanists that do not believe in a literal Satan, but they stand behind him as symbolism, saying rebel against God in his fucked up religion. The other Satanists ain't that. They actually believe in the red. The other Satanists believe in the red dude with the pitchfork. There's a difference, Paco. Now listen closely so you can understand the actual context of why I said all that. Atheists believe in none of it. They believe that the story is 100% Harry Potter. They believe it's Narnia. It's Lord of the Rings, J.R. Tolkien. That's what we believe. We believe that every story we've ever heard, from Buddhism to Sikhism to Jainism to Zoroastrianism to Greek mythology to Yoruba mythology to fucking.
I've been in the Zoroastrianism world though. Like,
But what I'm saying, all of that, we believe all of that.
You never been there,
Paco. I told you about it. I told you about it. Yes, I did.
Way before you mentioned you open your mouth about it, bro. Way before that. Way before that. The white people was telling you about that when the people was on the mountain. What are you talking about?
Paco, I taught you that. That's where your religion come from.
I studied it way back then.
I taught you that's where your religion come from. Everything you try, I tell you why you do it. Even when you try to say that, when you try to say Ethiopia is the beginning of everything, because that's where they place black Jews at. I know all your tricks, Pac, because it's niggas on the internet that do your tricks. Your tricks is weak.
That's what it
Pac,
is.
all you doing is being a slave to Arabs instead of whites, bro.
I ain't said that was the first of anything.
Pac, you did. You said that we came from Ethiopia. Pac, you said we ain't come from West Africa. You said we came from Ethiopia and East Africa. You said everything. You said the religion and the man, but Pac, we not Jews. We can become Jews religiously if we choose to. That's a religious movement. You can no, that's not the story. The story, when you talk about the actual story that's in the book, the Torah, ain't no evidence it happened.
But everybody knows the bloodline too. It's not a religion. Some people was that's what they was doing.
Pac, there's no such thing as Pac, but there's no Paco, but there's no undisturbed bloodlines on Earth. That's a myth. Relations don't work like that. You trying to tell me that somebody in the history, before even writing exists, was tracking who they fucking had sex with? When there's evidence that people have been migrating all over this earth for the better part.
People got all those in them, everything.
Nah, they don't, Pac. They really don't.
You crazy,
Pac, they don't. Pac, that's why we don't all look the same. Because all of us do not have the same things in us. You can see that with Paco. You can see that with a direct birth. Paco, you can see that with a direct birth. A child inherits the characteristics of his parents. Sometimes, Paco, and that's the same for every child ever born. So different parents will leave the people. Paco, think about what you're saying. It's like dogs or any other animal, Paco. Why are dogs brindle? Why are dogs blue? Because of mixing, right? Why exactly? So Paco, imagine the same thing with people. If people had all mixed, there would be no white people. If people had all mixed, Paco.
American black people got mostly everything in them.
No, they don't, Paco. It's not Paco. They don't have everything in them.
Mostly.
Paco, that wouldn't make sense, Paco. Paco, all right, let me show you how. Who has come to America that has everything in them? I'm showing you how.
No, not many.
Nobody. You can't name any group of people. See, it would take a group, Paco, to change just one population, let alone the whole Americas. It would take hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to do that, depending on what time frame you're talking about. Because the time frame would be
damn grandpappy. That's why.
But what I'm explaining to you is, Paco, I explained this to you before. It's like them showing you a picture. A picture has a date on it. When you saying that black people in America have everything in them, that's because you're encompassing all groups of people by who they look like.
But you said they gotta look the same. Like you weird.
No,
bro.
what I'm explaining, Paco. Paco. So So Paco, why are American black people different colors if we're all mixed with the same shit? I ain't say we all mixed. Pac, you said American black people got everything in them. Don't back it out now. Stand on your word. No, now it's not all of them. So which ones is it? So we can show you how. Which ones? You got to be specific. Give us context.
Like the light skin ones mostly.
All right. So okay, Puerto Ricans, right? Everything like what? What's
white, black, Middle Eastern?
But Paco, you do understand there are subgroups to that, right?
Fucking what's the other Shang people?
But they not Shang people.
Everybody.
But what I'm saying to you is this:
Chinese.
But Paco, they don't have all that in them. Paco,
you tripping, man?
They don't.
You don't even know what you're saying, bro.
I do know what I'm saying because I'm the one who told you Native Americans came from Asia. Don't try to flip my shit on me, little boy.
Why you keep saying that you told? You didn't.
I told you that, Paco. You said it wasn't true. Paco, you said it wasn't true. Now you saying something different. Just like D, he telling me I ain't teach him about Zoroastrianism.
My God.
He couldn't even pronounce the fucking word. But I didn't teach him about it. But I didn't teach him about it. I didn't teach him that that's where Judaism came from. I didn't teach him that, D. I didn't post pictures with the gods in them showing you what they stole.
Because you know how to speak better than somebody.
It's not about what I'm speaking. When has Paco showed me any of this, D?
At all.
When has Paco ever asked me if Japheth, Ham, and Shem are brothers, how can black people and white people not be related? Paco don't ask those questions. I do. So how can you, so how can you not be part of Africa, Paco? If Ham is Africa. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, now he never said he wasn't, D. Now he never said he wasn't, D. Now he never said he wasn't. He never said black people was just here, D. Black people was just here in America for 100,000 years. He said that with no evidence, D. He didn't need no evidence.
No, I'll push it back further.
How can you push? How can this nigga push something back further, D?
40,000 years and 50,000. You know all that.
D, how can somebody push something back further? How can a nigga from town push something back further? Wouldn't he need evidence to do that? Wouldn't he need evidence to do that, D? I just don't understand
I told you,
it.
like corn and sweet potatoes and different inventions.
But Paco, you have no evidence those inventions are 100,000 years old. These are just guesses you're making when you say random things. Paco, it doesn't matter where sweet potatoes come from. That doesn't say that black people were in America 100,000 years ago. That's not evidence for that, Paco.
Food is life.
Paco, Paco, food. But we have seen. D, has new food been introduced to the world in our lifetime? And neither one of us are 60 years old. Is that correct? So we've seen people introduce food into the world within 60 years, right? So let's say that this food that Paco was talking about is 6,000 years old. Why would that mean that black people are in America? See, there's no logic to his statement. He just tried to say things to seem smart. There's a difference. I asked the question. He ignores the question and says something he believes is smart. I asked the question. He ignores the question and says something he thinks is smart. That's his go-to. This is why I said I need another host.
No, you just act like you smart.
No, Pac, I asked you a question. Paco, you can ask me anything and I'll give you an answer. I can't ask you anything and you answer it head on. You won't do it. It's called buck dancing.
No, I'll answer all your questions.
Paco, you don't answer my questions. Paco, you don't answer my questions. What evidence do you have that black people were in America 100,000 years ago?
I told you sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, D. His answer is sweet potatoes.
Corn.
D, his answer is food. How can food prove black people were in America 100,000 years ago? Paco, Paco, I asked you about the time that black people were here. I didn't ask you about what foods they invented. You're telling me that the reason you know black people were in America 100,000 years ago.
People have to make
Paco, but again, Paco, for a person who don't believe in dates, how could you tell me the pyramid was 100,000 years old? What evidence do you have for that?
I mean, let's go to Guatemala, right?
Okay.
Just cut the bushes, right? Just cut a bush.
Okay.
You won't see a pyramid, bro.
But that's not what I asked you. You see, you're doing it again after you just said you answered. Paco, you just said you answer everything I said.
Now, people have 100,000 pyramids. That's very old, bro.
Paco, you just said that you, Paco, but what is very old? You can't use a term like very old when you're talking about the date. Paco, I gave you a specific date. They got dates on too. Yeah, the pyramids do, and no pyramid on Earth is 100,000 years old according to the date methodologies we use. So what I want to know is how. So what I want to know is how do Paco know that people were here 100,000 years ago? Because I still never got an answer to that.
Start making pyramids, or were they already here?
Paco, what I'm asking you is this. Paco, what I'm asking you is this. How can you put that date on the pyramid and nothing in fucking science says it's that old?
Because forgetting the pyramids, there was people everywhere.
But how do you know that? How do you know they were here 100,000 years ago is what I asked you. I didn't ask you when they...
Because me and you both know that they was around 40,000 years ago. You don't consider before that.
But Paco,
because you're not smart at all.
Paco,
that's what I'll be trying to tell you.
Paco, what I'm explaining to you is this.
That's not even logical.
It is logical. It is logical because everybody got where they was at on one specific day. That's the first day they stepped on that stand. Whether you
Nobody
talking
got
about
a Pacific Day.
Yes, they do. They all do. The Indo-Aryans came out the step when they came out the step. So again, this is why the Indo-Aryans came out the step when they came out the step. The Africans went into the motherfucking Caucasus Mountains when they went into the Caucasus Mountains.
Was that a Tune Day? Stop it, bro.
I'm not talking about no holidays. I'm talking about when people got where they got. The Han Chinese people were not always the majority of motherfucking Southeast Asia. That is not true.
You believe the people who tell you they got a date. Like you.
What I'm telling you is this. What I'm telling you is this. You don't have a date, but you telling me something's 100,000 years.
But you got Paco, a date.
They do have a date, Paco. They have dated what they can date. They cannot date everything.
Approximately.
Because Paco, science is not exact.
It's weird.
Paco, all right. So what I'm saying is, let me get this right. Let me get this right. So instead of using a scientific method or some form of scientific technology to try to get as close and as accurately using some type of scientific methodology, instead of doing that, you should just guess like you're doing.
Nah, but you got to go to that scientific community and you say approximately.
But what I'm asking you is, how do you know your date is exact?
And they be like, okay.
What I'm asking you is, how do you know your date is exact?
Because nobody got exact dates. I've never seen it.
So I'll ask my question again. So I ask my question again. So you're saying that what I'm supposed to do is just guess?
Nah, I'm not guessing. I'm just telling you the facts.
How is that a fact if you don't? Paco, think about what you're saying.
People had to be there to do that.
Paco, when you ever going? You ain't gonna never grow up, cuz. Like I'm asking you. I don't care what you listen to. I'm asking you, how do you know what you do is better? And you're not giving me an answer. You're just bashing science.
No, I'm telling you it's better than yours. That's all.
So how do you know that? What date has your version provided? I'm asking. Paco, no. Paco, I'm not pushing anything back. I'm asking you, what date has your methodology provided?
I don't care about a date.
So how can you say something was going on 100,000 years ago then? How can you fix your mouth to say that? If you have no methodology to find a date, B, you personally don't care.
Me and you both back around people's hair at least.
Pac, it doesn't matter, Pac. What you're saying is ridiculous. You're just saying things. Paco, stop comparing me to you. I'm asking you about your belief. I can tell you about my belief if you want to know. But Paco, stop speaking for me. I'm my own man, Paco. I'm my own man. You don't have to speak for me. Just speak for Paco. Let people hear what you have to say. Why not?
I'm not letting you give people fake dates. That's
Paco, but they don't have to believe my date. Why can't my data be said by me and your data be said by you? I can tell the people why. I can tell the people why, because he don't have no data, y'all. Everything he believe is dateless. He doesn't listen, y'all. Listen. It doesn't matter. Listen, y'all. It doesn't matter what he read, y'all. He just backdoored himself. Listen, y'all. No. All right, I'm gonna mute him. I'm gonna mute him so y'all can hear what I'm saying. I'm about to show y'all this. I'm gonna show y'all this. What he's doing is negating science, right? Not providing a methodology, right? But saying his shit is fact, y'all. Let me show y'all something. Hold on. Science could be 100% wrong, y'all. Science could be 100% wrong about everything it's ever said, right? We all know that's not true because right now, me and him talking on a cell phone. He drives a car. He plays an Xbox. I play an Xbox. We used to play PlayStations. We know science is not wrong about everything because there's lights in our house. So that's not the point. The point is this. Science could be wrong, y'all, but it's coming from a person who is not quoting any sources, won't give you a date, says they don't believe in the whole dating methodology, right? But they'll tell you something. Listen, y'all, but they'll tell y'all something. They'll tell y'all something. It is science. What is it if it's not science?
Engineering. That's engineering.
Paco, is engineering not a form of science?
No.
You want to bet money on that?
Yeah, science.
No. Is engineering, I asked my question straight. Is engineering not a form of science, Paco?
When you went to school,
Paco, I'll help you out, Paco. Engineering is science, Paco. I'll help you out. Engineering is science. There are multiple brackets of science. Mechanical.
Everything is in everything.
No, everything's not in everything. A plastic. Paco.
In school got something to do with the other thing.
No, that's not true, Paco, but you don't make anything.
So how you gonna read?
Paco, what I'm explaining to you is this. We're not talking about history. We're talking about technology. All technology is science.
You don't use
Paco, all technology, Paco, math is a form of science. It's a combination of numbers that will give you, no, it's science, Paco. Paco, do you know what science is? Math doesn't work until, all right, I'll show you my point. Everything I'm calling science, Paco, I'll show you my point. Everything I'm calling science doesn't work until you test it. Just remember I said that, and we'll go forward.
That's just a form of science.
That is science, Paco. Science is the test. Paco, science is the test, Paco. Science is the test. Before you actually test it, it's a hypothesis. Science is the test, Paco.
It's the testing.
No, Paco, science is the test. No, Paco, what's the difference between test and testing?
Huh?
What's the difference between test and testing?
Well,
you see this stupid shit you back yourself in? They mean the same thing.
I couldn't answer.
Go ahead.
Dan, can I answer?
Go ahead. Make a fool of yourself. Go ahead.
Well, somebody come up with something in their own mind. That's an invention, right?
Wrong. That's a hypothesis. It's not an invention until science proves it works. No, he just said it's an invention. An invention is a proven thing, y'all. An invention is not something that you tried to make and failed. Let me explain something to y'all. No, because
somebody invents something, then the engineer goes about his way trying to build it.
Incorrect, y'all. Incorrect, y'all. Wrong, y'all. Wrong, y'all. Think about what he just said, y'all. He said somebody builds something, then the engineer corrects it.
See, I'm done with y'all little shit.
Listen, y'all. He said somebody builds something, y'all. You know? He said somebody builds something. What he's describing to y'all is the difference between.
I want science fairs. So
listen, y'all. What he's describing to y'all, and he never answered. What's the difference between test and testing? Because he don't. Listen, y'all. He didn't never answer. What's the difference between test and testing? But I want y'all to hear.
I was trying.
No, you didn't. No, you did. You said an engineer. You said somebody. You said
invent something.
Paco, right? That's the engineer, Paco. The person who built Paco, the person who built it is the engineer, Paco.
And he probably not read.
Paco, the person who built it, Paco, the person who built it. Listen, y'all, it goes back to he said engineering is not science. And I asked him, did he want to bet money on it? And he said engineering is a form of science.
Engineering is a part of science.
No, listen, y'all, engineering is one bracket of science.
It is, just like everything is.
But listen, y'all, no, it's not. Everything is not. Everything is not science, y'all.
History.
Listen, y'all, everything. History is not science, y'all.
Goodness.
History is not science.
It's all the same, bro.
No, it's not, y'all. No, it's not, y'all. History is not a form of science, y'all. Why doesn't the science? Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. In science class, you learn about engineering, and you learn about about biology, right? Listen, y'all. What I'm explaining to y'all is this. I'll say it again, y'all. Science is something.
The first thing they tell you in science class is how to form a hypothesis.
Yeah, because that's what leads to science. Having a hypothesis. Science is the test. Science is the test. So something becomes a scientific fact when science says yes. Something is not anything but a failed hypothesis when science says no.
For somebody to invent something?
No, listen, y'all. It's not invented unless it works, y'all. It's not invented unless it works, y'all. You can't say I'm going to create an airplane that can dig into the ground. Once you do not create that airplane, there is no science that can save it, y'all. It's not science until it's tested. Once it's tested, it's either yes or it's no. If it's yes, that's how science works, like music. Music has to be tested. Just like engineering. Engineering has to be tested. Archaeology has to be tested.
It don't have to.
It has to be tested. Because if you don't know what you found, you don't know what it means. It has to be tested. If you find a fucking fossilized something.
Smart people that can invent things.
No, I'm not saying that you don't invent things, but that's the scientific part. Once you invent it, Paco, it has to work.
So science is him thinking of it in his mind.
Paco, that's nothing. It's nothing but an idea. It's nothing but a hypothesis.
I'm trying to figure out what science is right now.
It's the test. It's the test, Paco. It's the test. Paco, it's the test. Paco, it's the test. You're negating everything that people build. Paco, I'm telling you what you're doing. Paco, I'm telling you what you're doing. You're negating everything that people build that doesn't work. There's two sides to the coin you say you're flipping. Okay, so science is what says it works.
Like Bill Nye, the science guy?
Paco, all right, like prime example. In science class, when you created the volcano, correct? If it didn't work, what does that mean, Paco?
That it's stink. It's still science. You're still trying.
No. What does it mean, Paco?
You still trying to make it work.
Paco, we ain't talking about whether you tried. I'm about to see, Paco, you still don't see it. Paco, you still not using a rational thought. Paco, this is kind of... No, Paco, okay, you're starting to get to it. Keep going. You're getting warmer.
But I'm still doing science.
No, you're not. You're not doing anything because you didn't do it right. It's not anything. It's a failed experiment. A failed experiment is not science. Let me show you why, Paco. Let me show you why, Paco. Let me show you why. It don't take 20 seconds. Because if you did it right, your volcano would have worked. Why do I know that, Paco?
Because the periodic chart,
No, why do I know that, Paco? Why do I know that, Paco?
Because you went to school, and the school had a standard version of what they call science. No,
Paco, you're not hearing my question. Let me try to word it different. You're not hearing what I'm asking you. It didn't work.
I got a microscope at the house.
Paco, hold on. Let me ask my question. I'm gonna let you talk. Let me just ask my question. Paco, I tried to do this experiment, and it didn't work. What I'm asking you.
Ours worked for the science fair.
Okay. You're still getting warmer. You're still getting warmer to the right answer. How do I know? All right, let me just help you out and give it to you. How do I know I did it wrong, Paco?
Because the science class told you.
No, it's not about what they told me. Why did they tell me? No, Paco, what I'm asking you is how do I know that my joint didn't erupt because of me? Why do I know that, Paco?
Because you was a failed science experiment.
Why was it a failed science experiment? Because science has proven that it works. So for it not to work when I did it means I was the fault. See, scientific, like your car. When you wake up and your car makes a certain sound, you say, I need gas, because you know how the car works. Science created a machine that works a certain way. It needs gas. So when it doesn't have gas and you've been in that situation before, that's the evidence, Paco. That's the evidence. No. Paco. No. Paco, Paco, I just showed it to you in kids' school. I just showed it to you in kids' school, Pac. Everybody else's volcano went off except mine. How can science be at fault? It cannot. It's me. No. We're all trying to do science. There's a difference. Everybody else's volcano erupted, not mine.
So you was doing tests, and they was testing.
No. Pac, testing. Paco, that's not. No. What did you just say? I did a test, and they was testing.
You was doing a test. You was like, because your chemical didn't work, so it's obviously a failed test. But everybody else was.
Paco, testing can
only the science that they learned.
Oh my goodness, this boy is so sick. Paco, you don't know the difference between singular and plural?
No, Brock, I don't know the difference.
So why are you trying to make test and testing have two different definitions when one is just a plural? Why are you doing that? Do you think I'm that dumb?
Using English.
Paco, that's proper. English. Paco, is that English? Testing and test have two different definitions, Paco? Or is one just the plural of the other?
Well, you mean one a verb and
one is just the plural of the other. One is just the plural of the other.
Testing is plural? Okay, whatever. I guess we gotta go.
So
we both gotta go back to English class.
So Paco, singular. Paco. One is a singular, right? I'm not talking about adjectives and verbs. I'm talking about singular and plural. I'm not talking about singular and plural now. I'm talking about actually, like when people say that you're thinking Singular.
I can't think singular.
Paco, that's what you're doing. You're not looking at what was said happened in the scenario. It's like when you get a math problem at school and it's written down. Paco, your scenario was 10 kids in the classroom. Everybody volcano went off except for Brock's. Everybody's volcano went off except for Brock's. How do we know that the fault is with Brock?
Not because I know the fault is with Brock.
Yes.
Because he was trying to do science and his didn't work, unfortunately.
But not why didn't mine's work? Why do you know it didn't? How do you know it was supposed to work? Because it's proven, right? That's science, brother. That's science.
No.
Science is the test that said, Paco, science is the test that said, yes, Paco, math. Paco, math. You can come up with as many digits as you want. You can come up with more than the fucking 10 digits we have. You can come up with more than those 10 digits, Paco. But until you create the system and test the system to see if it mathematically plays out correctly, you ain't doing science. You have a hypothesis. You have a hypothesis. The difference between a hypothesis, the difference between the difference between a hypothesis is the difference between a hypothesis and a science. The difference between a hypothesis and a scientific hypothesis is science is what led to that hypothesis. No, right. But one is a question that only came up when something scientific happened. So like when you created the car, or when they created the car, and it came down to how to make cars more efficient, based off how cars ran at that time, scientific hypotheses were made based off of how cars were running when they first were made. Same thing with airplanes and boats and all that shit, like boats with engines in them.
So what about the engineers?
But that's what I'm saying, Paco. The engineer, let's say he created the first engine. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're trying to
create everything.
All right, I'm not saying that science physically created anything. What I'm saying to you is this. If Paco comes up with a certain way to do beaded bracelets because he's already selling the beaded bracelets that everybody else sells. Paco had a hypothesis. Paco had, I'm not saying nothing about the difference. It's not what I'm making, but the point the point I'm making is if an engine is built, and that engine is now the standard because it's the only one that has ever been built. It's the only model of what an engine is. Based off of how that engine runs, a scientific hypothesis would be when something becomes a hypothesis based off of the science you already have.
Yeah, and along with the history that you learned about the subject.
But you don't need the history. You have an actual model of what's working in your hand, like the first watch. The wristwatch can be advanced based off of how the first wristwatch worked. And then when the second one come, and version 3 and 4.0 and 5.0. No, Paco, it's not a Paco, you're missing my point. It's not about the invention being made. What I'm talking about is what led to the difference between a person's hypothesis and a scientific hypothesis. Once Paco creates this weed, this strand of weed that gets everybody high on smell of contact. Now
that
people
make me a scientist.
No, I'm not. That makes you a botanist, but that is a form of scientist. So indirectly, you're correctly. You're correct. But the point I'm trying to make to you is this. If
I put 2 seeds in the ground, no matter what it do, I'm still doing science. If I split one and put it with the other one, I'm still doing science. If it sells, I'm still doing science. Did you know that?
If it sells with what?
If it sells, like
no, cells is not science.
Where I put it.
Cells is not science.
Mm-hmm.
Cells is not science. The study of cells is science. Cells themselves are not scientific. Studying the cells is the science.
I don't do science, but I want science.
That's what I'm explaining to you, Paco. When you do something with the cells, that's scientific or medical. And most medicine follows science. What I'm explaining to you is the cells themselves are not scientific. Science is the study, Paco. That's all it is. It's the test, brother.
I do experiments on myself.
But what I'm explaining, that don't make you a scientist if you experiment with something somebody else has. Somebody.
People, but first I'll try myself.
But what I'm saying is, you experiment with stuff. You experiment with stuff that other people are selling you. That's the difference. You're not going out into the brush of nomad fucking Antarctica and find a flower that grows in the fucking snow and doing experiments on it. That's different. That would be actually science, Paco, because then it could lead to actual information or actual some type of medicine or some type of
actual skills to help people.
Listen, my point, Paco. The point is about test and testing and what is science and why do we know science is science? We only know the TV works because the TV. No, there's thousands of different sciences.
Do you think in cubics and spheres, or do you think boxes and circles?
I think ones and zeros, family. That's how my brain is hardwired.
It's more than that, though.
You always telling somebody what they shit is. Like, you good for that, man. You don't know what I feel. You try to tell me on the phone. You wonder why I yell and I holler. Right now, I ain't yelling and I'm hollering. But when a motherfucker try to tell you, you believe in something that you honestly just don't believe what you heard. They around the corner, yo. They giving out diamonds. I don't believe that shit.
You want to be right, and that's just.
I don't want to be right. I'm talking about my belief. You the one who called me stupid because I don't believe something, Pac. Something that you yourself can't explain. Who's really the idiot in the situation? You believe something you know. It's just you, bro. I don't believe it. I cast it aside. I said there's not enough here to convict. There's not enough evidence from all. And then I went searching for it because for my own reasons. Because I was lost. I worship the sun. I'm jumping from pantheons to all that shit. Now I don't believe in none of that shit as God.
I did all that for you. And then I'm telling you
but you didn't. But what I'm saying is I don't believe in nobody's most high. I don't. The world is too bad a place for you to tell me God is love.
I saw melanin at one point.
Yeah, and that was me too. That's something else you taking from me. That's something else you taking from me. Something you said on the phone that you can't think melanin is God. Yeah, I ain't never heard you say you was an atheist ever. I heard you say you was a Mormon Hebrew. I never heard you say you was an atheist. I never heard you say melanin was God.
But I was.
I didn't never tell me that.
We wasn't arguing at the time. That's all.
I said it.
I'm sorry.
I said it. We was debating before the show started, years before, and I never heard you say you was an atheist. I never heard you even say you don't believe in God, let alone that. What form of atheism was you? So let me get this right. Hold on. The nigga just backed himself into some shit. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I got his grits over the fire now. You was an atheist?
Yes, sir.
And what was your belief? Got one.
What?
Answer the question. You answer everything I asked you. What was your belief?
Well, it was that a God didn't exist until I read this little article on deism.
So you practice
deism.
So you practice weak atheism like me. You just didn't believe. You practice weak atheism like me. You just didn't believe a God exists.
It was a quick week period of studying.
You didn't tell nobody. You didn't tell nobody that God don't exist. You just said you didn't believe, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's weak atheism. Okay, go ahead. And then you learned about deism. Go ahead.
So then I read about deism, and deism. Cause I was trying to do science on Parabase because I was kind of like near Africa and Asia with my studies. So then I look up everything. So then I seen a word called deism. Mm-hmm. And deism is that God created the earth and he left.
That's one form. That's one form of deism. Much. Yes, correct. That's probably,
pretty much.
For the most part, there is another
so
form.
I said, it brought scientists.
There's another form of deism. I just want to hold on. I just want to enlighten y'all. There's two sides of deism. I want to enlighten y'all. There's two forms of deism. The one he stated is absolutely correct. That is probably the larger group who believe that God created everything and he left. There's another group of deists who believe that God exists, but he didn't do none of this shit. That's not his role to play in this thing. He exists.
God, look.
No,
His scientists,
these
not
are
mine.
listen,
His
y'all.
scientists.
But let me explain, y'all.
Right?
Let me explain something to y'all. Smart is relative to what you're talking about. So a scientist could be smart in biology, anthropology, engineering, mechanics, any of that shit, right? He could be in mathematics. He could be a math whiz. That don't mean that his beliefs have to fall on me, y'all. I don't have to believe what he believes. I only believe what he can prove. If he can't prove it, I don't believe it, y'all. So again, science is the test. He's only a science because he's one of the people who performed the test. That's what a scientist is, y'all. Whether you're talking about forensic science, those are the people who go to the crime scene and they actually they perform the test. Those are the people who are in the lab and they test the DNA to see if the semen matches the rape victim. Those are the scientists, y'all, the biologists, the people who work in biology and do the study of all living things on this earth. That's what biologists do. So mathematicians, the same thing, y'all. Scientists are the people who. So again, y'all, scientists are just the people who conduct the test. Their personal beliefs do not have to reflect mine, and there's nothing wrong with that because what they find and test has nothing to do with what they believe,
So
y'all.
you just talking about the people in the lab coat with a
What I'm talking about, y'all. What I'm
talking
talking about is this, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all what real intellect is versus what he just said. If a person is a scientist and they're a deist, the fact that they perform tests on things that are tangible, that they can physically touch, has nothing to do with the fact that they believe in something they cannot prove exists. Those two things do not correlate, ladies and gentlemen. Only a fool would try to use that as ammunition against somebody. What they believe, listen, y'all, because what people believe is worth nothing, y'all. He drives a car, which is an invention of science. So again, y'all, listen, y'all, but I don't have to believe what they believe. Listen, y'all, listen, y'all, but he's negating the key word, y'all. He's negating the key word in this sentence. His sentence. They believe, y'all. Who gives a fuck what they believe? Listen, y'all, exactly. He don't care about my beliefs, so why do I care about the scientists? Their job, 9 to 5, is to perform tests on things. Listen, y'all, I believe in science because they tested it. I don't believe in what the scientist believes, y'all. Y'all are hearing, I am the only person on the internet that has continuously for almost 60 episodes given y'all an idiot, showing y'all the idiocy in the black community. How we're raised wrong, y'all. We're raised to think opinionated. His opinion is law. I'm foolish for not believing in something that nobody on earth has ever proven is real, y'all. Think about it. Why would you call me a fool? Listen, y'all. Hold on, listen, y'all. He didn't just let me have my belief, y'all. He called me a fool. Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. He didn't just let me have my belief. He called me a fool. Listen, y'all, this goes back to the beginning of that shit. Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all, this goes back. Listen, y'all, this goes back to the beginning of that shit. The people who was against any one religion was given a name by them people, right? And then that name was synonymous with evil. So y'all heard in the previous episode where he linked atheists, which he said he once was. So he's admitting that he was once a Satanist who drinks blood for a week or two. But see, y'all, but listen, y'all, but when I'm an atheist, I have to do it. You see, y'all, now he has to say, but yeah, because, or else he would have to back off of his previous position.
If you know better, you do better.
Listen, y'all, but listen, y'all, he said, if you know better, you do better. Tell me how you know God is real.
I knew atheism was bullshit.
How?
And I had to jump up out of there.
How is atheism? No. I ain't switching pace. How do you know? You used the word know. You said if you know better, you do better. How do you know God is real?
I don't know it real for at all.
So how can you say you know better? What do you know better? Got him again. I just want y'all to see this.
I did a lot of research in my life, and I come to a lot of different conclusions, but you can trust that somebody that did all that research and study.
Who?
Tell y'all.
Who? Who did?
Me.
No, the question you were asked is how do you said you don't know that God is real. So how do you say how do you make a statement that if you know better, you do better? What made you leave atheism and go back to the Most High if you're saying you don't know God is real?
Because that was still this time I was trying to do like different science, like I was trying to do numbers using a lot of math, trying to figure out numbers and shit.
What does that have to do with what I asked you?
That's why I was an atheist.
I asked you, what is it that you know better of that made you go from atheism to the Most High?
Well, like I said, I read the deism little definition.
Okay.
And then I thought, so I was following scientists because I was that stupid, right? So when I was following scientists, I was like, damn, they believe in the Most High.
But why are you taking any one group of people's belief system and making it a reality? Why are you doing that?
That is something they believe.
I'm not saying it's not, Paco. I'm asking you, why is what they believe matter?
Like 7 billion people in this world, and probably more than half believe in.
But why does what these people believe matter, Paco?
You understand?
Paco, why does what these people believe matter?
Because I'm not naive and I don't think I know everything.
But why do you think these people do? So why do you think these people know? If you're a person walking the earth and you can admit that you don't know everything, then how can a group of people who don't know everything have the truth, Paco, on something that none of them have proven?
I keep telling you I don't believe in scientists, but
I'm talking about anybody. I don't give a fuck who they are. If it's 6 point something billion people on earth, Paco, and all of them, every one of them believe in fucking God, how would that prove that God is real? Paco, all right, I asked the question in a different way.
Have you ever seen the movie Get Down and Lay Down?
I asked the question in a different way. You've been alive 30 plus years. You've been alive 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
What have you seen that is true because people believe it? Not, let me finish before you answer it. Not something that's true that people believe. Show me something that people believe in, therefore it's true. Because like I said in my scenario, if everybody on earth believes in God, how does that make it true? Go ahead.
Well, people know more than you. Like, it's phrases and things that come true to life. So
it's not what I asked you.
Yeah, I know.
What I asked you is, what do people believe?
I'm breaking it down.
That is true because they believe it, Paco.
I don't got a yes or no for you. So
it's not a yes or no. I'm just name one thing on this earth that is true because people believe it.
Name one thing.
One thing, anything. I don't care what it is. That's true because of the number of people that believe it.
Well, Michael Jordan believes he can fly.
Did he ever fly other than in an airplane?
Nah, he flew in an airplane for sure, but like he flew off his feet and dunked on some niggas' face.
By definition, is that flying? By definition, is that flying? No, it's not. By
definition, he believes he can fly.
But what I asked you is, show me something that anybody believes, therefore it's true. You gave me a scenario. You said there's 7 billion people in the world.
Yes, sir.
You said that, and more than half of them, I think that's what you said. I could be wrong about that part. You might have said a lot of them or most of them. I'm not sure.
I said probably more than half.
Okay. So you said probably more than half of them, and I know it's more than half of them. You're right. It's quite a bit more than half. It's at least 60 to 70%. But my point is this. Why would that matter when we talking about establishing real versus fake?
See, my thing is like, say the Christian crusade came back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, get down or lay down with Jesus Christ.
So you just want to be ahead of the curve.
You won't believe in that Jesus Christ. Or you probably going to get your head cut off, bro.
But see, there's a difference.
And say the Muslims came over, right?
That's a different
thing. And they said, yo, Allahu Akbar, Allah, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you better believe in that Allahu Akbar, Allah for that time. You bet you won't believe in God then.
Okay, so again, I'm a jump.
Let's say the Indians came over and it's like,
well, he keep giving us the same motherfucking scenario using different people.
Over and over.
We get the point. But the point y'all gotta understand is this:
you.
two things about it. He's using the wrong word. He's using the word believe. What he should be saying is, I'm gonna lie and say I believe. That's what he should be saying. He's being disingenuous. He's trying to plug in belief so he can be right. That's not belief, y'all. That's what you call an extenuating circumstance.
I'm saying.
Why is that an extenuating circumstance? Because there's no good reason for a person to kill you over what you believe.
But you will see that being a light that you were talking about earlier.
But again. But I mean that's his opinion. After a person's head has gotten cut off, we have never been able to ask them, did you see a beam of light before you got your head cut off? So that is his interjection. He's just throwing that in there. Like he's just throwing that in there is what he's doing. I want y'all to see. I want y'all. What I've been trying to do, and like I said, I blame myself all this time because I'm not like it drives me nuts, y'all. And I get upset because like I do this shit with these niggas because they my brothers. They the only brothers I got left. So I try to put them onto the game that I was fortunate enough to have a nigga put me onto. And niggas try to fight me because of how they was raised and how society raised us. Now I've always been a rebel, y'all. So it was no problem.
I was raised free and a rebel.
But listen, y'all. But I'm trying to explain something to y'all. Like, listen, y'all. I want y'all to let's just take his last statement. He's so stuck in that way of thinking, he believed he was raised free. Y'all see what I'm saying? Now, a person who's awake, y'all know that they not free. They know that right now they not free. Free to do what? Free to be what?
Free to be you.
Nah, I'm not free to be me. I'm free to be what this society say you're allowed to be. See, that's why I tell people culture is a bad thing. It's a good thing too.
And that's true if that's how you think.
No, but culture is a good thing and it's a bad thing because what happens is people.
But you can move somewhere else and that won't happen. Then you'll be free to do whatever you want.
See, this what they don't tell y'all about. This what they don't tell y'all about culture. Culture, when being introduced to an outside party, one of three things happens, y'all. One of three things happens. When culture is introduced to an outside party, it gets eradicated, it gets misappropriated, or it gets assimilated. That's what happens to culture, y'all. Now, understand, there's two sides to every coin when you talking about what we talking about. Sometimes there is, but there's at least two sides. No, it all depends. It could be more than two sides. If two groups of people have a motherfucking altercation, there might only be two sides to that. Their side and the other side. So in a situation where you're talking about culture, so when you talking, but the truth is what happened. The truth don't belong to neither one of them. Somebody from no, it's not. The truth is the truth. It ain't got no side. It's unbiased.
Both can say something retarded, but
Nah. That's why the truth was always the truth. It didn't belong to either side. Somebody from either side can tell the truth, but the truth is what happened. The truth doesn't belong to either side. Both sides played a part in the truth being okay. So there's their side and that side. The truth is not nobody's side. It's what happened.
Yes.
So again, when you're talking about culture, one of three things happen. It gets eradicated, it gets misappropriated, or it gets assimilated. Now, when two cultures meet, one of the three things is going to happen. Now, we was the small fish in this war. And what I mean by we was the small fish, we got assimilated. So now black people are in a society where somebody told you was free.
Told you was doing well in school.
Yeah, absolutely.
You think you smart, right?
Absolutely. No. Well, you was smart when you was going to school at your own schools because at your own schools, you had a different culture, which led to a different standard of education. You had a different lifestyle and you had multiple tools, which led you to teach your kids a certain way. See, white folks didn't have those skills to teach to their kids because black folks was the ones doing the work. You got to look at things for what they are. Black people being assimilated in America was detrimental to black people because now they gave you the illusion of inclusion. They made you think you were an American. A motherfucker screamed on me the other day on the phone and said, I'm a fucking American. I said, that's your nationality. Nigga, what's your race? He said, I'm a Hebrew. I said, nigga, that's your religion. Nigga, what's your race? But they got us so fucked up in the head, we think like that. We think that these cultural groups, these political parties that we are a part of is who we are. I want y'all to know that because we were trained that way. We were trained. Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. Before you, the only thing that I'm 100% sure that you learned, 3 things that I know you learned before you learned the Pledge of Allegiance: your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3s, and how to write your name. Those are I'm 35, and that's the only 3 things that I can remember for a fact that you learned before you learned the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm trying to show y'all conditioning of the black mind. The brain is the person. The brain is every fucking emotion you have.
When I was in kindergarten and I pledged allegiance to the flag.
And that's what I'm saying.
I keep talking about me.
I am talking about you.
I did learn it.
What did you learn before that? What did you learn in school before that? You just said kindergarten, and the only thing before kindergarten is preschool. And anybody who ever went to preschool know for a fact that
kindergarten.
Right, that's my point. School ain't teach you nothing in preschool. Preschool was daycare. Preschool didn't teach you things.
I learned how to read a little bit.
You had nap time. I ain't learned how to read shit in preschool. I learned how to read in kindergarten. I learned how to read at home. That's my mom taught me how to read. If to keep it a bean. To keep it 100, that was my flashcard teacher before like preschool era.
I'm no good in English.
I wasn't doing no math in preschool. I had flashcards at home. I can tell y'all that for a fact. There was no
good in English, so I'm stupid.
There was no but that means you're just not good at English. That's one subject of many.
I know that.
So what I'm trying to explain to you is this, Paco. You want it? Go ahead. What I'm trying to explain to you is this, Paco. If you want to be enlightened, brother, if you truly want to wake up from the slumber that you're in, look at everything logically.
Listen to the scientists.
Nah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if a scientist say something that don't make sense, you don't gotta listen to them neither. I'm saying look at everything logically. Paco, you can ask me, Paco, because science is not an exact thing. You have nothing better than that, but you're shitting on that. That's a cop-out. That's a cop-out. You have nothing better to offer. Society has nothing better to offer than science. See, this nigga would rather implement religion, y'all. He would rather implement the Torah. He would rather implement whatever Buddhist books there is. He would rather implement that stuff than science. Nah, Buddha ain't no fucking spirituality. That shit, it got elements of spirituality in it, though it got elements of religion in it too, and that's why it's fucked. That's why it's fucked Buddhism too, because it got both of them in it. That's the difference.
You think spiritual?
That's the difference. Buddhism got spirituality in it. No, Buddhism got both in it. And if you can't admit that, you only lying to you. You ain't lying to me. Buddhism got both aspects in it. It got spiritual and religion in it.
Spiritual,
no, I'm not talking about the Buddha. I'm talking about Buddhism. Me and you both know. I ain't say he did. But who out there that say they a Buddhist practice what the Buddha said specifically and don't follow no form of Buddhism? Nobody. And you know it, and I know it. Even the secular Buddhists it's secularism, it's logical thinking, critical fucking thinking, it's reasoning mixed in with fucking Buddhism, D.
By reading,
it's like the Christians that try to put math into Christianity. It's the same thing.
Because all you got to do is put in what's the end result. Y'all, it's internet these days. Like, y'all be tripping, dog. Like, y'all actually
ain't nobody
crazy,
tripping, y'all. Ain't nobody on the internet.
The internet was free.
Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. I stand on my statement, y'all. Nobody has ever proven God exists. So, the point. If somebody tell me that, if somebody's to walk to me right.
Somebody proved he didn't.
Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. Do y'all know what the burden of proof is?
The burden of proof? Like I guess you can, once you can, well, let me see.
So now we're going to ask Paco. So now we're going to ask Paco one of them all-encompassing questions again like we did earlier, and he couldn't provide us with an answer. Name one thing on the earth, Paco, that doesn't exist, that there's no evidence it exists, that somebody's supposed to prove it doesn't exist. Listen, y'all. Let's let him hear that. I want y'all to see what's being asked.
There's a lot of things people.
Name one thing. Name one thing.
Got 'em.
Name one thing.
like cells.
Cells don't exist, Paco?
No, I said people like if you let me finish, like people think there's something inside a cell, like a smaller cell, and then they found out yes, it was that. So then they was like, damn, it's something smaller than that. Is that possible? And they looked into that and they said, yeah, that's true as well.
What did that have to do with the question I asked him? I said, show me something on earth that don't exist, that somebody can prove don't exist.
That somebody can prove that don't exist.
Show me something that don't exist, that we can't prove it's real, that somebody can prove it don't exist. Think about the question you're asking. I'll say it again a little slower so y'all at home can get the full effect.
Yeah, this is hard.
A thing, y'all, listen, y'all, what he's asking me to do is prove something that has no evidence that it's real, don't exist.
The Most High? That's what you're saying? You want to say he don't exist?
No,
like
no. Listen, y'all. I'm saying it, and he can't answer it, so he's filibustering for time. He's filibustering for time. Listen, y'all. Name anything that doesn't exist that a person can prove doesn't exist. So now let me pose y'all the real question when it comes to the thought of God. The question is, when a person says, "Oh yeah, I believe in God. I know my Lord and Savior is my motherfucking salvation." I'm not saying he did that, but I'm just saying when somebody tell you they believe in God and they know God or they know the Most High is real, the question is, how do you know that? Not how do I know it's not true? I have a belief. You're telling me you know something's real. I'm not telling you I know something's real. I'm telling you I don't believe in what I've heard of. Maybe you heard of something I haven't heard of, so maybe I need to hear of that and then I'll believe in it. But me personally, making this personal and not about the atheist position, personally, there's nothing you could tell me that I would make me believe in God. It would have to be something I can see, touch. It would have to be tangible, physical.
But your scientists believe in.
But it doesn't matter what they believe. Their smarts lies in their realm of science. Anything else is a belief. The scientists are not claiming to have proof God is real. So let's do it that way. He's saying that deism made him leave atheism because I guess he's saying, I'm putting words in his mouth, I guess because scientists are the smartest people on earth on average.
Yeah, I didn't say that, but yeah, that's what you're saying.
So what I'm saying is their smarts, as I'm calling it, lies within their realm of science. So why does what they believe, A, I got a two-part question. It's a two-part question. Why does what they believe matter? And B, if they're so smart, right? If they're the smartest people on earth, right?
My scientists got like dreads and
yeah, but Pac, you missing the point, Pac. Your scientist is only smart about what they talking about too. You missing the point. The point is you're saying that somebody can know the unknown. And then not only are you saying that there are people out here who have actual evidence or facts or some information about the unknown, you're asking a person who doesn't believe in it to prove it don't exist. It's unknown. How am I supposed to prove there's no people on Pluto and I've never been there? You're asking me about something that's not physical or tangible, something I cannot touch, and you're asking me to prove it doesn't exist. You're trying to ask me to prove that an idea doesn't exist, Paco. That's buffoonery. And you know why? It's sucker shit. I'm gonna tell you the part why it's sucker shit. Because you won't prove he do. That's why it's sucker shit. I believe one thing, you believe another thing. I could sit here and tell you, yeah, I am an atheist because I don't believe in no God I've heard of, Paco, but it's your fault that you believe in God and you can't prove he real, dummy.
Oh, a lot of people.
Paco, what a lot of people do don't matter to me. Now you see why I'm different than you niggas?
No,
because I don't care what other people do. I'm not a follower. I don't care what they do, Paco. They believe that believing what they believe is going to save their soul from some form of eternal damnation. I don't believe that, Pac. I believe they're going to die and their life is over and they going in the ground and the next people that's alive that day will continue to live their fucking life because that's all I seen. Because that's all I seen. I don't believe in no shit I ain't seen, nigga. You believe in some shit you ain't seen. You believe in a nigga in the sky who created everything. Well, he created evil. He created rape. He created slavery. What the fuck you mean? He created everything. Don't tell me one of his agents created the bad. I don't believe in none of it, nigga. You believe in it. I don't. That's the difference. We not the same, nigga. We not the same.
The stuff you believed in, I only believed in for a week because I studied better than that.
Yeah, but now I'm at a point that you can't get to because you're such a fucking child. You can't cast aside the idea that your parents gave you before you could walk, nigga. You so suck the titty so deep in your mouth. You can't leave a fucking idea that was given to you as a baby. And you ain't got no proof for it. You ain't got no, you just admitted. You admitted. You have no proof for it. Paco, when a person believes in something they ain't got no proof of, what does that mean, Paco?
Yelling and talking about titties and mouth and stuff, dog.
Exactly. Like, you such an infant. You such an infant mentally. I'm mad at you because you should have been woke up. I'm mad at you because a nigga told me on the phone, I'm not part of no religion, but I believe in the Most High. A nigga told me he not part of no religion, but he believe in the Most High. That's not weird? I believe in the Most High, but I'm not part of no religion? Paco, but Paco, me losing a fight don't mean they right, dickhead. You such a child. You still going to playground tactics. Winning the fight means you're right. That makes you the big man. That makes you the tough guy. He acting like a baby. This ain't fucking Rugrats. A person can beat you up 10 times a day for 7 days a week and be 100% wrong about what y'all arguing about. A person using their mind would come to that conclusion easily. They wouldn't tell another person that a Hebrew will stomp you out. What did he prove? What did he prove?
What did the atheists prove?
The atheists don't have to prove nothing because they just ain't believe what they heard. You heard bullshit, said you don't believe it, but still believe in the concept.
I already just like...
You still believe in the concept that's connected to things you said today on this phone you do not believe. You still believe in the concept that's connected to the thing on this phone, on this call, that you yourself out of your mouth said Paco does not believe. How much sense? Nigga, show me the logic in that. I'll be quiet.
That I believe in the...
Show me the logic. Show me the logic. You said you don't believe in no religions. You're not religious. You're not connected to any religion. But you believe in the Most High. Tell me how.
Because my beliefs, I told you I'm over 50% with that. So, like Buddhism, it don't matter if you
over 50% with what?
Or you Christian or you.
Can you clarify? Over 50% with what? It
doesn't matter, right?
Over 50% with what?
But you lean a certain way.
Can you clarify? Over 50% with what?
But you lean that there's a higher force, you know.
So wait. Now you're leaning on over 50%, but I'm a fool for believing differently. So you're not even sure yourself, but you can call somebody else a fool.
Yeah, because it's the same thing.
How is it the same thing when I just don't believe what I heard? Nigga, you said the same thing, but you won't commit. You said you don't believe what you heard neither. You said the same thing as me, but you refuse to commit.
You always go back to like a book with like...
Pac, we can go whatever book you want, Paco. The point is none of the books are true. Can we agree with that? Can we agree with that?
Yeah.
We can agree that none of the books are true, right?
Fully, not at all.
Okay. Right. I'm talking about the God part, not about the morals or the people or the places or none of that. I'm talking about the God part. God was talking to niggas. God was killing people.
The Bible stop shit out.
What I'm asking you is the God part literal? Is the God of any of them books real? For a fact.
Like the one singular being, because they all don't do that, but...
True. They don't all do that. Right. I'm talking about any of them. Is there 1,000 gods out there? Or is it just one?
Like,
see, this is what happened, y'all.
Hold on. People got different versions.
That ain't what I'm asking you. That ain't what I'm asking you. You said you don't believe in no religion, but you believe in the Most High. So,
I'm very, like, literal, like...
Yeah, I'm more literal than any of you niggas. I'm spot on. I want you to say what you mean. Don't switch it in the end or when you're trying to clean it up. What I'm asking you is this. You said you don't believe in no religions. You just said 10 seconds ago. None of them books is true. So where does the Most High come from? Where did you learn about him if none of them books are true?
Literally, that's why people say the Most High. You understand me?
He's still not answering the question, yo. He's still not answering the question, yo.
Hold on.
The question, no, I'm not gonna hold on until you answer my questions. If you're not gonna answer my questions, I'm not gonna hold on. We're not gonna change the subject. I'm not gonna let you talk for 2 minutes and start talking about something different. Answer the question.
I don't have.
Answer. So how do you know he's real?
Because we can look at each other every fucking day, bro.
That just means we're real. How do you know he's real?
Because we can look at each other.
So how that lets us know we're real. How, if you listen to what you're saying, you fucking moron. You can look at me and I'm physical, and you know I'm real. So how do you know he's real? Fucking fool. He just said he can look at me, D. I'm tangible. I'm physical. He sees me. How do he know the nigga he can't see is real?
Are you yelling and smacking yourself? Hold on, bro.
How? That's my hands. How do he know the nigga he can't see is real? He just said he can see me. Okay, that explains how you know I'm real. How do you know he's real? If you're not even putting him to the same standard you're putting me.
Because
vampires aren't real. D, why are vampires not fucking real?
Hold on. Do you gotta make Dracula was eating people's?
But is that a vampire?
Shit.
Did he have to drink blood to stay alive? Did he have to drink blood to stay alive?
He act like he did.
No. I ain't talking about what nobody act like. Physically, did his biology work that he had to drink blood to... All right, the answer is no, y'all. So he wasn't a vampire. He was a sick person. Why is that not an anomaly, y'all? Because there are other people who ate people too. There are other people who ate people too, y'all. So now we've seen that throughout history. Some people have eaten people. Now it's a fact, y'all. We know it's not an isolated incident. Vlad the Impaler was not the only cannibal. He's where the idea of a vampire comes from, y'all. But now that we know he was a man, we can cast aside that vampires are fake. The question is, once a man like him, who's where he's at, not where you're at, people listening, where he's at, who don't believe in any religion, why does he believe in an idea he got from religion, y'all? That's the same thing as a nigga being institutionalized. When you start wanting to fucking, that's Stockholm syndrome, y'all.
A lot of shit is institutional.
But listen, y'all, what can man write, y'all, that prove God is real? Nothing. Me and him probably both agree. Because we and him both agree that all the books that were written are wrong. They don't make sense. Earlier, he made a statement that God was love, y'all. What evidence he got that God is love? He don't got no evidence. He's reciting things that are stuck in his fucking mental.
I like that one.
But it's not true. It's dangerous to give to a child. Because the child may never know anything close to the truth. What if the child don't grow up strong-minded?
Said they believe in God, but you ain't. Like, I don't.
Paco, you said the same thing as me. Not only did you say that you don't believe in any religions, you also said that you used to be an atheist.
Want me to teach my kid atheism.
I want you to teach your child logic. I want you to teach your kid logic. If you can't touch it, it ain't real. If you can't see it, it ain't real. If you don't hear it coming, it ain't real. And even if you hear it, with this type of technology in the world you live in, it might not be real. It could be a firework. Now, your brain might think it's a gunshot, but that don't change the fact that it was a firework. You believed it was a gunshot, but you were wrong.
It's bacteria that you can't see with your eyes all over the air.
But that don't prove God. That proves that bacteria. So now his question is, who put it there? And since he can't find the answer, he's going to a well that somebody planted in his brain when he was a baby.
You can't see when?
You can't see when?
Yeah,
but you can feel it. But you can feel it. That's tangible. I said touch, boy. I said hear in certain cases. Anything you can see, nigga, just like Casper the Ghost. If you ain't see the damn ghosts don't exist because they on TV. God don't exist because a lot of people believe in him. I mean,
something like
but
that.
you don't. But like, exactly, could be something else. Could be the film could have had something that could have been bad film.
It looked pretty bad though. It looked pretty bad.
What, to my understanding, when I looked up what you described, that's called double exposure. That's what happened when somebody take a picture over film that already got pictures on it.
And that's true. It could be that.
I'm not saying it is because I don't know. But there may be an explanation. We don't just get to say it's a ghost. It may be your ghost. But until that's actually tested, we can't make assertions. And that's what people do with religion. Because they know they're going to die, somebody told them of a way to save themselves. And you told this to a fucking child. And I don't blame the parents because the same thing happened to them. But the system has never been broken.
But what are you telling your child?
I'm telling my kids I don't believe in God. Until I find a tangible reason to, I won't. Because there's things in this life that are physical. Everything I know about this motherfucking universe, and I know a little, very little, next to nothing about the universe. What I know about this planet, I know very little, next to nothing about this planet.
That's the smartest thing I ever heard you say.
So for me to sit there and tell another person I know God is real is a bold-faced lie. And I don't want to lie to nobody like that. I'm comfortable with being my own man. I'm comfortable with being cast aside and people throwing their dispersions on me because I'm going to give it to you every time you do it.
Up your head like a gang sign. You cool with that.
I mean, that's your words. That's your terminology. I didn't say I was cool with that. I'm an atheist because I don't believe in no religion I've heard of. And religion is where I heard of God from. I haven't heard of God outside of religion. If you have, maybe you should enlighten me because that should be your duty. But when I ask you these questions, I'm not asking you these questions to poke holes through your story. I'm asking you, you can believe, Paco, you believe what you, I can believe that everything you say you believe.
Yeah, I do.
But what can you prove? If you can't prove it and still believe it, to me, that make you a fool on that regard.
What do you have me to prove? Like
whatever you believe, Paco. Whatever you believe, that's on you. I don't shape your beliefs, Paco. Whatever you believe, you need to prove anything you believe. If you tell me black people were in America 100,000 years ago, you have to have evidence for that. If you tell me if you telling me that Most High is real, you got to prove that. And if you can't ask me, but no, I didn't say 40. I didn't say 40. Now you're changing it, moving the goalposts. I didn't move nothing. Paco, you said 100,000 years ago. Paco, you said 100,000 years ago. Paco, and I told you it wasn't 100,000 years ago.
Just like you better than me animals. I got stuck on the
Paco, you don't, Paco, because you said 100,000 years ago. Who made you back off that date, Paco?
What?
Who made you stop saying 100,000? Why are you talking about 40,000 when it was 100,000 before? What changed your mind?
Well, I came across a couple of little things and little tidbits here and there about people making things, like I said in the beginning.
So then that means that you got to admit Brock was right. So you got to admit Brock was right?
Where?
That there is no evidence that black people were in America 100,000 years ago. I'm correct, right? So I wasn't lying to you when I was saying that all in times.
I think those people be trying to tell the truth.
When I'm asking you, I'm not talking about anybody trying to tell the truth. I'm not talking about anybody telling the truth. What I'm asking you is by your own admission. You just said you read some things, and what you read made you back down off that 100,000 year date. So that means Brock was right. There is no evidence of people in America for 100,000 years.
Me back further than your 40,000 that I walked you back to.
How did you walk me back to 40? No, I'm not changing the argument. Paco, how did you get to 40,000?
2 years ago.
Paco, how did you get to 40,000?
And I walked you back to say.
Paco, how did you get to 40,000? Paco, what happened to 100,000? Paco,
I walked you back to 20.
Paco, what happened to 100,000? Paco.
All right, that's
but see, so that means that Brock was right because I've been telling you that wasn't real, right? Yes, yes, I argued with you. So Pac, we never had that argument, and I told you was wrong. That there's no evidence that states that. No, Paco. Did I ever tell you that there was no evidence that people was here 100,000 years ago, Paco?
That's what I'm telling you.
Paco, did I tell you that there was no evidence that black people was here 100,000 years ago, Paco? Did I tell you that 1,000 times? Did I tell you that 1,000 times? Did I not trace down your sources? What do you mean? What does it matter?
It don't. Whatsoever.
It do matter.
We back 40,000.
Oh, it do matter because I have evidence that black people was in Africa over 100,000 years ago. D, we got him. D, we know where they come. D, we got him. We got him. Game over. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna mute Paco because he's not gonna be quiet, y'all. I'm gonna mute this man. I'm gonna mute this man. Listen, y'all, we got him by his own admission. He just walked the date back from 100,000 years to 40,000 years. What does that mean, y'all? That black people was in Africa before they was in America. Let's let Pacos clean that up. He hung up, y'all. He hung up. Y'all heard it. Exactly. He probably say his phone died or some shit like that, but y'all heard it firsthand right here. Y'all heard it. He just admitted that black people can't come from America by his own studies. Got one. Got one. So that shit is dead now, y'all. We don't have to do that no more. That argument is now a done ya. It's now a done ya. Simple and plain, y'all. And at the end of the day, y'all know I pushed him to that date. Y'all know I told him about Zoroastrianism. Y'all know these things. Y'all heard it. It's all on the episodes, 30 episodes ago. Now he's speaking on it. Yo, listen, y'all. I'll be teaching him this shit. And then he come back later on in later episodes after he studied. And he recited to me. I'm going to tell y'all, A, I've caught him doing it 1,000 times. And B, I know he's doing it because he accused me of it all the time. And I never say nothing like that. He accuses me of it because he does it. This is child's play, man. Again, I need a new co-host. When the homies think they woke, sometimes they ain't.